Hi everybody, today I'm going to share with you another plan with me. It's been a while since I've done one, so I thought I'd share my May 14th to the May 20th layout. I'll be using, as always, my Scribbles That Matters bullet journal. I already laid it out and I decided to do a Dutch door design. I have a lot going on in the next few weeks, so I thought I'd add this to make more space. I already pre-cut it, I measured it the way I wanted. Now if you're following me on Instagram, you'll know that I'm participating in the Quirky Heart Digest this month. Quirky Heart is it's a group run by Michelle Baxter. I've spoken about her before, and she puts out this monthly digest, and this month it was to do with comic books. So for this week, I can show you a glimpse. There's last week's layout. That's coming soon. This was the first week's layout. So I'm going to carry on that theme here. And so this week's challenge is to use one of these, either this color palette or the Kamala Kicks Butt palette. I'm using the Wonderful palette. And so in order to add more visual interest and to make it more fun, I was going to use Wonder Woman as my theme. So I've already printed out some stickers, print and cut some stickers. I try to cut through the page so that I can place everything down the way I want to see it. So it didn't quite cut through. Maybe I can just gently try and remove more pieces. So I cut it out so that I could see how I wanted to lay it out and stuff like that. So I'll be sharing that with you. I've already, like I said, done my penciling. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and this will be the weekend. And here we have my to-do list. And as you saw, I'll be putting my Wonder Woman over there. I'm also using my Distress inks. Salty Ocean, Mustard Seed, Squeezed Lemon, and my Candied Apple Distress ink. I'm actually going to try something fun with these guys, so you'll be seeing what's going on there. I'm not quite sure I'm going to use my Candied Apple just yet, but I'll be using my Salty Ocean to do the very small border that I have set up. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you follow along and enjoy. Thank you. So the number one thing for this layout was to do masking technique, which is covering up the bits and pieces that I don't want saturated with color. So for this, I just used cheap Post-it notes that I get from the dollar store. And as always, I put my sheet of paper behind the page I'm working on to protect the other pages. Now, I feel like I did go a bit dark in this border, and I've been struggling with my layouts this month just with color oversaturation in general. You can always just glue two pages together so that you don't see the bleeding as much, but just as with everything, the more ink you add, the more likely it is to bleed through. So that's something I'm going to be working on for sure. And then, so if you are doing this in your bullet journal, always make sure you have overlap on the other page. I've had it in the past where I didn't cover the other page very well, and I ended up getting ink where I didn't want it. So that was annoying. So just keep that in mind. Again, this is the Salty Ocean colored Distress ink that I'm using for my background. I was really happy with how it turned out. I like drawing the borders around, but it's fun to try something different this month. So next up, you will see me do the masking for my background, for my Wonder Woman. She's a sticker, an SVG file that I purchased off of Etsy and downloaded and print and cut using my Silhouette. So super easy. Again, I cut my stickers through the paper completely so that I'm able to have the flexibility of seeing where I want to place my stickers before having to place them down. So here you'll see me masking again. You'll see me reuse the blue, where I used the blue. Just so you know, with the distress inks, you want to be very careful because that blue, the yellow will pick up the blue and kind of bleed into the yellow portion a bit, if that makes sense. So as you can see, I'm trying to I keep from rubbing the Dauber, the mini blender tool, from the blue onto the page versus I go from the page onto the blue. Again, this is so that you don't get that bleeding from the blue. So this was just going back and forth and adding ink. Again, this is where I definitely oversaturated the page with ink a bit too much, but lessons learned. You'll see the back of the page, and if you follow my Instagram, you'll see where it came through. I did manage to edit it out, so I was going to do a quick tutorial on how to edit your pictures to look like mine did. And now I'm taking the squeezed lemon in and I'm just blending it in to the page. Again, I'm going from the page to the blue versus the blue to the page. And this is where my oversaturation happened. Also, it's really hard to erase pencil from, once you do the distress inks, it's really hard to erase that pencil. So you want to get as much of the pencil off the page before you start blending that ink into the page. So I decided to use my Candied Apple Red in this little box that I was going to use for a fun little comic boom. So that's what I decided to do with my red. I also wanted to give my red that comic book layout look with the dots in the background. I forget what the technique's called now, but I just went in with a Crayola Super Tip and added the effect in. It takes a while, but it's a fun look. It gives you that fun comic book look without getting too complicated. I actually practiced a variety of dots, if you will, and that was the best I came up with. So as always, I'm using my mono drawing pen, my Tombow mono drawing pen, to go in and add the lines. Again, my favorite part about these Tombow mono drawing pens is the ability to erase without having the color fade. That's very important to me as I'm a pencil first person. So maintaining that color. I like the microns as well, but the microns are really bad with fading. So I don't use them for projects like these. I'll use them more for lettering projects. So the size I use for my borders is the 0.5. And then the size I use the 0.3 for my lettering, for my handwriting. And then I use the 0.1 when I need to go in and add touches. So for example, when I stamp an image and the image isn't 100%, I'll go in, depending on the size of the image, with the 5, 3, or the 1, depending on what's needed. The 1's a little too thin for me. I've definitely broken off tips of the too thin pens, so I'm not a huge fan. Again, for my Dutch door, I put a page along the back underneath it so that I didn't get the ink onto my page that I was using, that I plan on using. So then I go in and I just get rid of the obvious pencil marks. I did do some pre-planning in that how I wanted the different things to look. So here you see me going in. When you do masking, it's not always perfect. So I just matched my Crayola pencils to the distress inks and I just evened it out wherever it needed. Sometimes you get little lines, or it just doesn't add up or even out as well, and the pencils are perfect for that. So now I'm adding my day headers. I've been drawing them in, like you see the Monday at the top there, but I thought I'd do something a little bit different for this week. And like I said, I cut my stickers all the way through just to give me the functionality of moving things around to see how I want it done. You'll see at the end of the video, I actually ended up changing my mind with a couple of the stickers that I used. I should have filmed how I got it off because it took a lot of patience and a lot of erasing back and forth, but we'll see how it goes. The sticker paper I use, I bought a whole bunch of Avery sticker paper back in the day, and I'm just making my way through it. I will be changing what I use, but for now, Avery works for me. It's fine. I don't have a sticker shop or anything, so just anything to get it on a page. The Avery sticker paper does not lift as easily as you see me lifting it there. It's actually very sticky and a bit of a pain. So you want to make sure it's right as soon as you put it down. And here I'm writing in my days. This graphic I also got off of Etsy as part of a package. And the graphic you see me writing for Thursday again is also a graphic I got off of Etsy. So now you'll see me go in. I'm adding my boxes for ticking off my to-do list or moving it to the next day or whatever legend you use. That's what I use these boxes for. This is painstakingly boring to watch. So I have fast forwarded through this for you. So you'll see it done and then all of a sudden, or you'll see me starting and then all of a sudden it's done. It does take a really long time. I know I could just stamp it, but the quality of stamp I have with this kind of layout isn't great. So I haven't found too much success, so I figure I'll just draw it in. It's in the long run, at least I'll be happy. It's not faster, but I'll be happier with the outcome. So this is my to-do list. I'm sorry that it's off camera. I'm just adding more boxes, nothing too amazing. Again, these dots took forever. I cut out about 10 minutes of video of me just doing these dots. But again, I really like the effect, so I just keep doing it. As I mentioned, I have a lot going on in the next coming months, and this week has pretty much been the start of all of it. So we'll be moving and just some stuff going on in my personal life. So I haven't been on social media that much, at least not from a creativity standpoint. And now you'll see I'm not too happy with how this turned out. I think it could be better, but I was having issues with balancing the images. So I tried a whole bunch of different things to try and get it to work. I added pencil in, or I added color into the circular box, and I didn't like it. And then I added color into the weekend box, and I still didn't like it. It just, the balance was off for me. One of the things that, looking at it now, that still really bugged me was the fact that the Thursday and the Get It Done, they were both the cloud layouts or the cloud shapes. And then you had the weekend that I'm coloring in now that kind of mimicked the Thursday lightning bolts, and it just kind of seemed a bit too much for me, which is why I was struggling with how it looked. I also thought it was a bit plain and boring compared to the other page that had that bright yellow Wonder Woman figure. So I was trying to fix it as best I could. But once I stopped filming and I was able to step back and take a good look at it, I realized that I just had to peel off the stickers and come up with something else, because in the end I wasn't that happy with it. Here I'm just going in with my Crayolas
Crayola pencils. I'll be upgrading those shortly. And yeah, so that was my layout before I decided to change a couple things. So I went in and I put the wow instead of the Wonder Woman symbol, and then the words Wonder Woman, and split up Saturday and Sunday. Thank you for watching.